There is a question that has haunted humanity since the beginning of time, a question that you may have whispered to yourself in the dark of night. The question is, why me? Why was I born into this particular family with these financial, emotional, or health challenges? Why was I given this body, this mind, this life? It is the feeling of being a victim of circumstance, the result of a cosmic accident, or for some, a divine punishment that we do not understand. To help us navigate this profound question, the great psychologist of the soul, Carl Jung, taught us to use the power of as-if thinking. So for our journey today, I invite you to suspend, just for a moment, your disbelief and join me in asking a radical question. What if your life is not an accident? What if we treated it from now on as if it were a sacred contract, a master's project meticulously chosen by the wisest, oldest, and most courageous part of you, your soul, or what Jung would call the self? It is crucial to understand from the outset who the chooser is in this perspective. It is not our conscious ego, that part of us that seeks comfort, pleasure, and ease. Our ego would never choose the hardships we face. The chooser is the self, the center of our psychic wholeness, our divine spark. And the self has a single, relentless directive, a single goal: our individuation, the journey of becoming the complete, conscious, and integrated human being we were destined to be. Imagine your soul as a master climber preparing to climb the most sacred and challenging mountain in the universe. As it looks up at the mountain, it does not choose the easiest, most paved, and safest path to the top. She chooses the north face, the one with the deep crevasses, the unexpected snowstorms, and the vertical ice walls. Why? Because she knows that it is only on this face of the mountain that she will be forced to use the full extent of her strength, her courage, her resilience, and her genius. Her life, with all its challenges, is this face of the mountain. She was not chosen for her ease, but for her immense and unparalleled potential for transformation. This video is intended to be the map of this expedition. We will explore the 5 great clauses of this sacred contract that your soul has signed. We will reveal the hidden logic behind the choice of your family, your greatest challenges, and your secret gifts, so that you can finally begin to see your life no longer as a random burden, but as your great and courageous masterpiece. The first clause of this sacred contract is perhaps the most difficult to accept. It concerns the choice of your initial, alchemical laboratory, your family of origin. And the pain that arises here is that of resentment, of the feeling of having been damaged or limited by your upbringing. It is the feeling of carrying burdens that are not yours, of fighting against patterns that were installed in you without your permission, and the immense difficulty of freeing yourself from the invisible chains of your family inheritance. In Jung's psychology, our family is the initial furnace where our deepest psychological pattern, which he called complexes, are created. Complexes are like the initial software that is installed in our psyche. They determine our automatic way of reacting to the world, of loving, of feeling fear, of seeking security. Your family dynamics, with all its lights and shadows, were the environment that programmed in you your greatest strengths and also your greatest wounds. And here is the revelation that can begin to dissolve your resentment. From the soul's perspective, you did not choose your family to be punished. You chose it because that particular family setup, with all its dysfunction, its beauties, its absences, and its excesses, was the perfect environment to create the exact problem and shadow material that your soul needed to evolve in this lifetime. A perfect family, if such a thing exists, would create a psychologically sterile environment, without the friction, without the challenges, and without the wounds necessary for your soul to truly grow. In order for you to begin to see the logic behind this choice, we invite you to do a central theme analysis. Identify honestly what was the main emotional theme that governed your family dynamic. Was it abandonment, constant invalidation, over-criticism, chaos and instability, perfectionism? Now, with this theme in mind, observe how it, like a guiding thread, manifests itself in your relationships, your career, and your personal challenges today. Begin to recognize the impressive consistency of the curriculum that your soul has chosen for itself. Think of a master alchemist who has the ambition to accomplish the great work, to transform lead into gold. First of all, he needs the raw material. He needs the lead, your soul, the greatest and wisest of all alchemists, could not accomplish its great work of transformation, its individuation, without the necessary raw material. Your family, in an act of profound service to your journey, has given you the highest quality lead, perfectly designed for your unique project of becoming gold. The second clause of this soul contract concerns choosing your sacred wound. It is that core pain, that limiting belief that feels like the most absolute truth about you and that follows you through life. It is the feeling of, I am not good enough, or I am unworthy of love, or in the end, I am always alone. It is the pain of identifying so deeply with this wound that you believe that you are the wound and that everything else in your life is merely a consequence. To help us understand the purpose of this wound, depth psychology presents us with the wounded healer archetype. Jung and many others before him observed a profound pattern in the human journey. It is often the doctors who have been very sick themselves who become the best and most compassionate doctor. It is the therapists who have navigated their own dark nights of the soul who can best guide others. From this perspective, your soul chooses a central wound, so that by dedicating yourself to your own deep healing, you become, without realizing, an expert, a guide, and a source of immense compassion for all others who carry this same pain in the world. And herein lies the breaking of expectations that transforms your greatest suffering into your greatest asset. Your wound is not your flaw, it is your sacred calling. The place of your greatest vulnerability is, paradoxically, the source of your most authentic and powerful service to the world. The purpose of your journey is not to get rid of the wound, as if it were a flaw to be fixed. The purpose is to transmute it. It is to draw from it the wisdom, strength, and empathy that can only come from someone who has experienced pain firsthand. To begin to see your wound in this new light, we invite you to the superpower exercise. Take a notebook and complete the following sentence as honestly as you can. Because of my wound, and here you insert your core pain, such as rejection, abandonment, invalidation. I was forced to develop the superpower of, and here you list the strengths that were born from that pain, such as radical self-sufficiency, a keen intuition to read people, or the ability to create your own spaces of belonging. Think of an oyster. It only creates a pearl, a jewel of rare and coveted beauty, as a healing response to a grain of sand that invaded and wounded it. The process is long, uncomfortable, and irritating. But without the irritation of the grain of sand, the pearl would never exist. Your sacred wound is that grain of sand. And your soul, in its infinite wisdom, did not choose you for the pain of the irritation, but for the beauty of the pearl of wisdom, strength, and compassion that it knew from the beginning that you would be capable of creating. After we courageously look at our family heritage and our sacred wound, it is common for a feeling of helplessness to arise, as if our life were just a set of problems to be solved. And the pain that blinds us here is the tendency, so human, to focus obsessively on our challenges, our weaknesses, and our traumas, making us completely blind to the gifts, strengths, and innate talents that are also part of who we are. What the wisdom of the soul teaches us is that the self, our ordering sense, always operates based on the principle of balance. It would never assign you a mission as complex and challenging as your life without providing you with the necessary equipment to successfully accomplish. We can imagine that, along with the challenges, your soul carefully packaged for your journey, a unique set of gifts, innate talents, and archetypal potential, the perfect tools for your expedition. And the revelation that turns the game around is that your gifts are not random. They are, in fact, the exact counterpart of your challenges. They are the solution that was programmed into you for the problems you came to solve. If your great family challenge was chaos, perhaps your gift is a brilliant, logical, and organized mind. If your sacred wound is that of invisibility, perhaps your secret gift is a powerful and captivating ability to communicate. Your talents are not a genetic accident. They are the perfectly designed tools to put together the puzzle that your soul set out to solve in this lifetime. To help you begin connecting these dots, we invite you to do a gift challenge mapping. Grab your notebook and create 2 columns. In the first, write down your 3 biggest and most recurring life challenges. In the second column, write down 3 things that you do naturally, easily, almost effortlessly, your gifts. Now, with the curiosity of a detective, draw a line connecting each challenge to a gift. noticing how one can be the exact solution to the other, and marvel at the clever design of your own psyche. Think of your life as a great mythological journey. In every story, the hero is never sent to the dragon's den empty-handed. He always receives somehow a magic sword, an enchanted shield, or advice from a wise man to guide him. We, on our journey, have become so mesmerized by the size and fire of our dragon, which are our challenges, that we forget to look at the sheath of our own sword. Your innate gifts are that magic sword. It has always been with you. It is time to learn how to use it. We now come to the fourth clause of the contract, and it addresses the most common anguish of modern life, the pain of uncertainty. It is the anxiety of not knowing what to do with your life, which path to follow, what your true purpose is. It is the feeling of being at a crossroad with multiple possible paths, but paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice. What if this feeling of not knowing is not a defect on your part, but an intentional element of the plan? Let's explore the idea of a selective tabula rasa. What if your soul, in choosing your family, your wound, and your tools so carefully, had deliberately chosen to leave an area of your map blank? The area of your purpose, your passion, your most authentic self-expression. The revelation here is profoundly beautiful. Your soul has not given you a defined purpose because the conscious discovery of purpose is the journey itself. Not knowing is not a flaw in your program. It is the necessary and prerequisite condition for the seeking, the exploring, the making mistake, the learning, and ultimately the conscious creation of your life. If you knew your final destination from the beginning, there would be no adventure, there would be no growth. There would be only the execution of a script, not the experience of a life. To begin filling in this blank map, we can use one of the most powerful compasses Jung gave us, our emotional response to others. The invitation is to practice sacred envy. Ask yourself, with complete honesty and without judgment, what kind of person or what kind of job do I secretly envy? But not a destructive envy, but one that comes with a twinge of admiration and longing. Ooh, what do these people express that my soul cries out to express? Be it courage, creativity, freedom. Your sacred envy is a compass that points directly to your blind spot, to the territory you came to explore. Think of it like your soul gave you a treasure map. The map is incredibly detailed. It shows the mountain you must climb, the dark forest you must traverse, and the dragon you must face, which are your challenges and your family heritage. But the exact location of the X, where the treasure chest is buried, is not marked on the map. Why? Because the treasure is not an object to be found. The treasure is the person you become as you explore the entire island in search of it. And so we come to the last and most important clause of your soul's contract. It answers the question that echoes at the heart of all suffering. What for? What is all this struggle for? What is all this pain? All these challenges, all this journey for? What is the ultimate meaning of it all? It is the search for the great harvest, for the purpose that justifies the entire process of growth. And what the wisdom of the great tradition and depth psychology teaches us is that the ultimate purpose of your journey is not just your healing and your personal wholeness. That is only half the journey. The true purpose is what you choose to do with that wholeness once you have achieved it. Your individuation is not just for you. It is your service to the world. And the break in expectation here is that the purpose of your life is not to achieve a state of permanent happiness and retire in peace. Your soul's purpose in signing this contract was to complete the alchemical cycle. First, to live fully in the circumstances that were chosen. Second, to use your unique gifts to transmute your challenges and heal your sacred wound. And finally, the most important step, to offer the distilled wisdom of this entire journey back to the world as a medicine, as a gift. To discover what form this gift takes, the final question you can ask yourself is, based on all that I have experienced, all that I have overcome, and all that I have learned, what unique message, example of life or service can I offer to the world that no one else with a different journey than mine could offer? The answer to this question is your legacy. Think of your soul as a master winemaker. Before it was born, it chose a specific grape from a unique terroir, which is your life circumstances. Life then crushed it, trodden it, and fermented it in the darkness of a barrel, which was your challenges. And the purpose of this entire painful process was not just to transform the grape into wine for your own consumption. Its ultimate purpose was always to be poured into glasses so that its unique flavor, its story, its wisdom, and its resilience could bring depth, joy, and awareness to the lives of others. We journey together today from a sense of being a leaf in the wind, a victim of random fate, to the realization that we are the author and protagonist of an epic, complex, and deeply intentional saga. The central truth that emerges from this journey is that your life is not an accident to be endured. It is a sacred task to be lived. Every detail, especially the most painful one, can be seen as a signature of your own soul, a nod of complicity from a wiser part of you that knew exactly what it was doing. This perspective expands on Jung's famous wisdom. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. And we add a layer of depth. What if, at the most fundamental level, you also chose what would happen to you so that you could become exactly who you are? You are not a victim of your circumstance. You are a sole volunteer on a mission of mastery. Look at your life, your wound, your family, and your gift, no longer with resentment, but with the reverence of an artist looking at his raw material. The contract has been signed. Your life's great work awaits. Live it with purpose, gratitude,